Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
Money.
Let's get to the
Money. Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in your ass screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmaker's getting cooked. When I spot a dirty keg of 4 units getting played, always find the value, I would never be afraid. Scary money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace or a shitty old picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-pop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in your ass screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies.
And here we go.
Welcome back, fellas, to the Balking Dead, where, of course, there is no sleep for the wicked. Hope you guys had a great break as I started a project, another book with numbers in this book. Of course, numbers, guys, but I went through and put all lineup numbers like a jackass for that time period of each player that we like to bet on, guys. So, post All-Star break, guys, we're cutting that list down from 95 people to 60. Granted, some guys will be coming off the IL and will get added in as needed, but we're going to lock the fuck in the second half as the test runs over, guys. If you ain't paying us, we don't know how you working out, guys. We're done betting you. We know what guys we want and the spots that pay us in. If you were with me last year, guys, you know the word pass comes a lot in the second half, and we wait for our spots like a lion in the wild. We will pounce on that ass, guys, and we've got some spots today. So you guys already know this show is sponsored by PrizePicks. If you haven't, go on over there and use that promo code PUBSPORTS. On your first deposit, they're going to match you up to 100 with a minimum of 25. As you already know, we do have another sponsor because when you win, they want in. W, guys, a clean energy powder with no come down to your day. Simply scanning the QR code on screen, you're going to get 10% off your first order by using the promo code PUBSPORTS. Shout out to the chat, guys. Appreciate you all for showing up. Shout out to the best producer in the whole wide world, soon to be best married producer in the whole wide world. You guys know the drill, guys. Smash that like if you already haven't, and make sure you do have them notification bells on. On this show, guys, we will compare the best lines available on K-Props when they first open, 30 minutes. Then we'll compare them 30 minutes prior to the show and then see what PrizePicks compares them to. First guy up, guys, Hugh Darvish at the Phillies, number 42 in the black book. This year, he has a 25% strikeout percentage and a 7.9 walk percentage. Opened him up at 6+ minus 118. Best line available to that 6+ now is on DraftKings at a minus 135. PrizePicks has him at a flat 6, whereas pitching outs on PrizePicks under over are at a 17.5. Lineup is 5 lefties, 4 righties. K per 9 this season. At home, he has a 10.3. On the road where he's at today, he has an 8.3 K per 9. Versus lefties, he has a 10.7 K per 9. And versus the right-handed side, he has a 7.8. Today, we have a theme of the day, and that theme of the day is wet and wild. Yeah, but with no wet t-shirt contest, as there is lots of rain on the East Coast today. But this game does look like there will be windows if they have to push it back from start time. But let's talk us the first guy on the board. Hugh Darvish at the Phillies. And their numbers, say they're not walking a league worst 3.9%, yet they're not striking out with nice isolated power numbers of a 175. So they've been hitting the ball. So let's go see who they've seen in that time span. Sandy Alcantara, who they see 5 times a year, went 6.2 innings with 5 strikeouts. Zach Eflin, who we were on that day, went 7 innings with 9 punchouts. And yes, it was the All-Star break, so we're going to miss about a series or series and a half. So we'll go back one more series and see who these Phillies have faced. How about Kodai Senga? 5.1 innings with 6 strikeouts, while Mad Max went 6 innings with 8 strikeouts. Now, the key for me with running a Darvish K prop is lefties and whiff percentage, as his K per 9 versus lefties this year matches up with his last year, where he's at least 2 Ks per 9 or better versus the left-handed side, and we have 5 lefties in today's lineup. As well, with the top 4 batters in the Phillies lineup, 5% worse than league average when it comes to whiff percentage, with a combined lineup of 27.5% whiff percentage. League average is 25.7. So the 27.5 puts them in a bottom 5 category when Darvish has faced a lineup of 27.5% or worse when it comes to whiff percentage this year. He is 5-0 to the over 5.5, averaging 7.4 strikeouts a game. And if we look at the pitcher versus batter stats, there are 2 guys with elite numbers when it comes to whiff percentage and not whiffing. Alec Baum being one of them, and his career numbers versus Darvish are nothing to write home about, as in 14 plate appearances, he's batting a whopping 0.77 and has struck out 5 of those times. So we have lefties, we have whiff percentage, and we have good numbers versus a guy who doesn't whiff. 2 strikeouts of wiggle room from where this man's averaging in these spots. Yeah, I'm on Darvish over 5.5 strikeouts to start the day at -115 for a full unit. Next guy up on the board, Justin Verlander versus my Doyers. Number 40 in the black book this year. He has a 19.7 strikeout percentage with a 6.6 walk percentage. Open him up at 6+ -115 on BetMGM. The best line available now to that 6+ is on DraftKings at a -110. PrizePicks has him at a 5.5, whereas hits allowed on PrizePicks under over are at a 5.5 as well. Projected lineup for my Dodgers is 5 righties and 4 lefties. K per 9 this season. He does have an 8 K per 9 at home where he's at today. 6.6 on the road, 7.1 K per 9 versus the left-handed side, and a 7.5 versus the right-handed side. Another game with lots of rain, yet shows a lot during the start of the game, but it also shows that if they do push it back, there should be plenty of window to get this game in, whether it be hour or 2 after original start time. And before I get into Verlander versus my Dodgers, the other side of this matchup is Julio versus the Mets. And until they take the pitch count off of Urias, and he has one fucking good start on the road, I can't look at him, period, guys. Even though this does seem to be the day they let him go his normal amount. And lefties seem to be hitting their K props versus these Mets as of late. He still needs to go prove to me that he's back to being Don Julio, not Don Bummio, guys. But I don't bet ifs. If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. So let's go talk Justin Verlander until Julio gets his act together on the road. So, Verlander versus the Dodgers, guys, and looking at his game log in the book, shit had me worried at his strikeouts, guys. He's fallen off a cliff this year. So I go check out his velo and his spin rate, and his velo is still the same as last year, and his spin rate has actually gone up on every pitch. So the fact that his strikeouts have gone down, that just doesn't make sense. So I do expect some positive regression coming his way, and his strikeouts to start to tick back up. Now, when I run a K prop versus my Dodgers, I can give a fuck less about what the numbers say, as I attack them with guys with high velocity and guys who use that pitch as an out pitch. Looking at his pitch usage, Verlander does throw his fastball 50% of the time, yet he doesn't use it to put away batters, as he tries to get you to chase with his slider and his curveball. As the Dodgers will spit on those 2 pitches. Those are the 2 that he ain't. No, Bob. He is throwing that fastball damn near 50% of the time, near 95 miles per hour. If he decides to go fastball changeup, which he's only using his changeup 3.8% of the time, but yet that's his best whiff, That's his best put away pitch, guys. If he decides to go heavy fastball changeup versus my Dodgers, he has a day and has a day to remember, guys. But at the end of the day, I can't just count on him to go out there and do that. So there are going to be times where I want to attack him, but this is a spot where once again, they put him up a strikeout, and they've done that the last 3 games. Granted, there were 2 strikeouts up the last 2 times he played, and he came nowhere fucking close. So now they have him at a 5.5, where he's only hit a 50% win rate to the 4.5 his last 10 games, yet we're going to get a 5.5. So they're looking at his spin rate as well. They're saying everything's right, and he's going to turn it back around. Well, I don't bet ifs, and I don't chase. Sharpie 316. Roll 34. I don't chase women, and I don't chase K-props, guys. And if you chase Verlander's K-props the last 2 weeks, it's gotten you 0-2. So, yeah, sometimes it does hit for people. Sometimes it doesn't. I'm here to bet when a guy goes through his average or figure out why the books are fucking with it. And they just keep adding on to a guy for no reason. No reason. So, yeah, I thought I was going to get in on an over 4.5 and, take that risk that maybe this dude does wise up. But the fact that the books jumped him up was an easy, thank you very much. I'll let that one go. Now, here's another one that I ain't going to let go, but I need a lineup. And let's talk it out. Charlie Morton versus the White Sox. Number 24 in the black book this year. He's got a 26% strikeout percentage and a 10% walk percentage. Opened him up on FanDuel last night at a -102 to the over 6.5. And the best line available is on MGM at a -115. PrizePicks as well has him at a 6.5, whereas earned runs on PrizePicks are under over 2.5. Projected lineup for your White Sox is 7 righties and 2 lefties, whereas K per 9 this season is an 11.1 at home where he's at today. 9.6 where he's at. 9.6 on the road. 12.2 K per 9 versus the left-handed side. Super elite, where a little less than average with an 8.5 K per 9 versus the right-handed side, which they are projecting a heavy right-handed dominant lineup today. Now we get to talk of some good old Uncle Charlie guys versus the White Sox. And we get a 6.5 at even money on a guy who's hit his over 6.5 or 7.5, wherever the books placed him, 4 out of his last 5 games. So, yeah, let's give these fellas plus money or even money damn near and see if we can bait these fools. Well, to me, it sounds like a goddamn bait. And I got to then go here and figure it out and see if I can figure it out. If not, I got to just let it go, guys, as the White Sox are walking league average over their last 15 days. Striking out at an absurd 27% clip, and their isolated power is a mediocre 113. So they're not hitting and they're striking out at they're going to give us even money on a 6.5, where he's hit the over 6.5 at a 70% win rate over his last 10. Shit just ain't adding up yet. So let's go dig into it a little bit more. We get Charlie Mimo at home, guys, where it's not just this year, it's going back to last year. His K per 9 goes up at least 2 Ks at home compared to on the road. So that's another thing that doesn't make sense. Now, the only thing that does make sense is the books don't take in home road splits. So that you've got to throw out. So we've got to dig a little deeper and be like, okay, Sharpie, what the fuck are they doing? Why do they want over money on Charlie Mimo in a great spot? So let's get into it, guys. It's that got to be the 7 righties and 2 lefties. And over the year, he's dominated lefties, like I said, with a 12.2 K per 9 compared to a mediocre 8.5 versus the right-handed side. And that has to be the reason, as the strikeout percentage and the ISO tell me he should be out there long enough to hit this. And at home, his K percentage versus righties goes up to a very good 25% compared to a trash-ass 18% on the road. And I know the books don't take in home road splits like I just said. And the 7 righties in the projected lineup and a season 21.7 strikeout percentage versus the right-handed side is the only reason that I can come up with a 6.5 at even money. So until I see the lineups, I may just have to get my toes wet, guys, because I figured it out, in my opinion, why it's there. they're looking at a 21.7 strikeout percentage on the year versus the right-handed side. They're projecting him. He's got to be out there 6.2 innings by the math to hit this. Well, those numbers are real. When I run it with the lineup, they're real. And this man is just a different story at home. So depending on the lineups and depending how the line moves, that will dictate on if I get in, where if they do load up righties, I expect it to stay the same or to come down, where the more lefties they put in, I expect the juice to go up. So if the juice don't go up, I'll just probably have to let it be. Now, I will let the line dictate itself, as in the lineup, to tell me how this should be bet. So at the moment, it's a heavy lean. There's no way I can go under right now, as I think I get what the books are seeing, but the books might just get whopped upside the head on this one right here, because this dude just is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde when you look at his home road splits, and that's just not this year. And we're talking striking people out, and that's about it right about now. I'm not talking his earned run average or nothing. We're talking what this dude does, and he slays people at home where he's at today. Let's get into a guy where we do not need a lineup. Black Book number 4. Tyler Glasnow at the Braves. This year he's got a 36.4 strikeout percentage with a 9.1 walk percentage. Opened him up on DraftKings last night, 8+ -120, where the best line available to the over 7.5 now is on FanDuel at a -150. PrizePicks has him at a flat 8, whereas earned runs, outs, hits were not available on PrizePicks. Projected lineup for your Royals today is 6 lefties and 3 righties. His K per 9 this year. Very small sample size, so not enough to hit the home road. But lefties, he's got a 14.3 K per 9. And righties, oh no, it drops to a 13.3 K per 9. Can you say elite? Because that's what this man is. Excuse me. Another game that starts with rain, but shows there should be time later on for them to push the start back. And we're talking Tyler Glasnow at the Royals, where when we look at their overall numbers over the last 15 days, they're not walking while striking out at a 26% clip. Well, they're also not hitting the ball for the life of them with a team isolated power of 105. A spot on this show we like to call a matchup from the baseball gods. And in the new book, it says it's an even better spot. When we look at the overall numbers, the teams Glasnow's faced this year, he's seen 3 teams with a K percentage of 24 or worse. Well, Sharpie over the break went and put in the lineup numbers of those days so that we can have exact numbers. And Glasnow has only seen 1 lineup with a K percentage of 24 or worse, and he put up an 11-pack that day. Now, that team he put up an 11-pack on is top in the league in whiff and chase percentage. Oh, like the Royals are. And Glasnow did see these Royals back on June 25th, where their lineup numbers said they were not striking out and they were hitting well. Glasnow went out and Glasnow kicked them in the mouth, getting 12 strikeouts. So we know the overall numbers say go gadget K-prop. Now let's go run the projected lineup numbers. And this is where I said the matchup from the baseball gods just got better, as we got a lineup not walking, not hitting, and striking out over a 25.5% clip, and a team in top whiff and chafe percentage in the league. As Glasnow has only seen 2 teams in the top 5 in those 2 percentages combined this year, and he had 11 and 12 in those spots. So yeah, I'm on Glasnow over 7.5 strikeouts. I got in at -127. And the most strikeouts of the day goes to either him or Castillo, as they both have some great matchups. It's just who's going to get more. Now, I've had a few people ask me, like, bro, why did it open 7.5 at -120? Blah, blah, blah. Tyler Glasnow was taken out the game due to an injury last week, guys. We were on him, and some people tried to jinx him, and thank God he got that 8 strikeouts before he got pulled out the game. Well, guess what? That was a hand cramp. The dude must have jerked off too much the night before or something. I don't know, bro. At the end of the day, it was nothing major. The dude's making the next start on his normal rest versus a team that struggles. Tyler Glasnow to the fucking moon. As Drew McIntyre just came back, this dude's been back. Now we get to talk a lot of guys that a lot of people probably showed up for. And if you haven't, we got 70 plus live. Smash that like button. It does help the algorithms a lot and get some new people up in here and hearing the good gospel of Sharpie 316. Shohei Ohtani versus the Astros. Number 2 in the black book this year. He's got a 32.5% strikeout percentage and a 10.5 walk percentage. Open them up on FanDuel 7+ -115, where this best line available to the over 6.5 is now on DraftKings at a -125. PrizePicks has them at a flat 7, whereas earned runs on PrizePicks under over are at a 1.5. Projected lineup for your Astros today: 8 righties, 1 lefties. Where Ohtani's K per 9 this season, 12.4 at home where he's at today, 11.1 on the road. Lefties, he's got an 11.2 K per 9, where they are projected to load up a bunch of righties. He has a 12.4 K per 9. Now we get Shohei Ohtani versus the Astros. And if you don't know me, guys, we made some money on the under this time. These last times these two squared off. And I've only bet 3 unders this year, guys. I'm not a guy who goes and looks to bet unders. I'm an over better. I do believe guys can still have good days. But a lot of my friends, when I say these guys are going under, they do bet it and they just thank me. And I watch them cash at a stupid rate. So I do start betting them when the time calls for it now. And that's the only way, guys, I can bet this again if I was to get involved. When we look at the Astros numbers over the last 15 days, they're walking at a nice 9.4%. They're the best team in the league at not striking out at a nice 175 isolated power. 170, guys, is considered great. So, yeah, the numbers say no, but we know, like on this show, numbers aren't everything. So, yeah. They're more than likely always going to say no when you freaking look at the numbers versus the Astros. They are a no-fly team, and you've got to have a certain pitch that we like to use to go against them. And we've already talked about it, guys. This guy doesn't use it no more. Ohtani used to be an automatic over versus the Astros. If you go back and look at what he did to them in the first half of last year, duh. But guess what, guys? We started fading him because he isn't that guy anymore. And what we mean by that is in the second half up until now, Ohtani scrapped his splitter. He went from a usage of 14% to less than 7%. And his strikeouts dipped versus the Astros since. A boatload, as he hasn't made it more than 7 in 4 games since last year's All-Star break versus the Astros. Throw in the fact that in his last start, he was taken out due to an issue on one of his fingernails on his pitching hand. Now, the reason we need the splitter, guys, to hit the over versus the Astros is they are one of the best high-velocity fastball hitting teams in the league, and they have been throughout the years. And when you're loading up for 97 and the bottom falls out, just can't stop yourself. Hence why we hit the Gosman over on him earlier this year. So this is an easy stay off for me, guys. Yes, I lean the under, and if I was to bet it, I would. But like I said, this guy still can hit the over today without the splitter. Strictly on, this isn't the Astros lineup I would bet it. I don't have Jordan. I don't have Altuve. This isn't the team that I would go out and trust to back it versus the splitter. So it's an easy stay off for me, as yes, I lean the under, but this isn't the Astros lineup that I would go and bet that under with personally. So the way I would look at a bet today is a hitting prop, guys. And that's Alex Bregman. And yeah, I hate the guy probably more than you, other than LJ. He loves the guy because he's from Houston. But that trash can beating son of a bitch, guys, I would look at him for a single. And on FanDuel, it's at plus 106. He's had 27 at-bats, guys, versus Ohtani throughout his career. He's batting 370 in that time span. He's got a total of 10 hits. 8 of those hits are singles, guys. So the dude chokes up, looks for the fastball, takes it the other way, takes his knock. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles, guys. He should see them 3 times through the order. This man's hitting him, at least by the numbers, with a very, very good percentage. 1 out of every almost 4 times. So, and 1 out of every 2.5 has been a single, or more than that, actually. So, I'm looking at him for a single today. is what it is. Shout out to my boy Tone Miggity. He was the first guy to start betting singles and doubles and actually looking for a way to actually make a little more money, because the guy's going to need to get 2 hits to go over 1.5 more than likely. Like, yeah, you're hitting 370. That's a beautiful batting average off Ohtani, but out of 10 hits, like I said, 8 have been a single. Looks like we just seen a dono. We don't get much on this show, but that's a big boy fucking dono, bro. Let's go. Appreciate you, my boy. Jack, you're the dude. Let's get it. Oh. Yeah. I'm like fucking, whoa, I gotta just get quiet for a little bit. I just gotta get a little quiet, guys. Right now, we gonna take a little sesh right now for the man who just spotted $50, guys. I mean, I appreciate everything. Appreciate the likes. Appreciate everything, all the members, guys. But drop a 50 spot, bro. Drop a 50 spot, dog. Oof. Let's go fat them pockets up, bro. Let's go fatten them pockets up, because we still got some more action on this beautiful, beautiful card. Let's talk Luis Castillo versus the Tigers, number 22 in the black book. This year, he has a 27.2 strikeout percentage and a 7.3 walk percentage. Opened them up at 8+ -110 on FanDuel. Closed them out now at plus money to the over 7.5 on FanDuel at plus 106. PrizePicks has them at a 7.5, whereas pitching outs are not on PrizePicks. His hits, earned runs, outs were not available at the time. Projected lineup is 5 righties, 4 lefties. K per 9 this season, 10.9 at home, 8.1 on the road. Granted, 66 innings at home, 41 on the road, and he is at home today, but he'll still have that 9.5, 10 when he does come to the road, when it all pans out. Lefties, he's got a 9.9 K per 9, while righties a 9.8. Dead fucking muchacho. Who cares if you give us lefties or righties? Just give us guys striking out. And the last guy on the board today, guys, is in a spot from the baseball gods. And the books know that as well, guys, as they jumped him up a strikeout, as this man has only hit his over 7.5, 30% of his last 10, and less than 30% on the year, yet we get a 7.5. And sad to say, I get it. It's the Tigers. Sorry, Big Show. It's not just the Tigers, guys. Their overall numbers the last 15 days, they're bad. They're walking at a disgusting 5%, striking out at a 25% clip. Yet they do have a decent 160 isolated power in that time span. And the numbers actually get worse when we run the projected lineup, as their strikeout percentage jumps to 29% and their isolated power drops to 125. So a matchup from the baseball gods is actually better than what it seems. Now, when we look at the book with the lineups for Castillo, he has seen 2 lineups with a K percentage of 25 or worse, and having 8 and 9 strikeouts respectively in those games. And to boot, they were both in the division. So this is this Tigers' first look at La Pareda, as the Tigers have not seen this man going back at least 2 years. So yes, I have him for 8 or more strikeouts today, but Sharpie 316 roll 34. I don't chase women or K-props, no matter who it is or what the situation they have been put in front of. Now, what I will do is take him down to where I believe he should be without the Tigers tax, and I'm going to take him at 7+. And I'm going to do a same game parlay with the newest member of the Black Book, Eduardo Rodriguez. And I'm going to pull him down to 5+, and that was -113 on FanDuel, yet juice to the gills on the offshore. And guess what? Team Sharpie drank that juice. Shout out to the juice drinker himself. Underrated, because, yeah, we weren't scared. So sometimes you got to do what you got to do when you can't do what everyone else is. But for those who have legal books, this is a full unit alt parlay, as they are both in great spots. And I just wanted to pull down my boy, the newest boy, Eduardo Rodriguez, in his first edition, even though I do believe the man should go out there and hit his over 6.5. But like I said, it's his first spot. I'm going to pull him down, and I'm going to hook him to the man La Pareda, Castillo himself at 7+. And we're putting a full unit on that, guys. This lineup for the Tigers is trash. They're bad. He's going to be out there 6, 7, 8 innings and dominate this Tigers team. If you're into one of those guys who bet most strikeout props for the day, I'm not. I don't know if there's enough value because him and Glasnow are going to be at the top of the list as they're both 7.5s. But wouldn't be surprised if Castillo beats him out today, as this is just lining up for one of those days. And this team hasn't seen him. Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust. As I said, guys, last time I started doing these recaps, I do this out of my own time and generosity. And if one person wants to get dumb, then I'll just stop doing these recaps for good. As if you're just showing up for the recap, do me a favor and smash the like button as we talked to some studs today. And I ended up pulling the trigger on Tyler Glasnow over 7.5 at -127. And Hugh Darvish over 5.5 at -115, as well as a single game alt parlay with Luis Castillo at 7+, hooked to Eduardo Rodriguez at 5+ at -113 at FanDuel. All three are full unit bets, and 'tis the time of Sharpie bets, guys. It's the second half of baseball. Oof. Where I've made the season my bitch, guys, going back year after year after year. If you don't know, hot is about to get grease fire hot. I'm waiting on lineups for Charlie Morton. I will tweet it out if I do end up pulling the trigger on him today. So make sure you do have them notification bells on. That is if I ain't blocked you yet, because I got that quick block. Pet peeves, don't ever talk a K-prop to me while it's on unless you're bad-mouthing him and his family. It's not over till it's over, guys. I need to see fucking money in my account.
Hey, Sharpie, you still there? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, we got some people in here. You want to go over the All-Star game and the how you did in the Derby? We got 99 people in here.
No, I wanted to finish my recap.
Oh, my bad.
Fuck. Well, I don't know what I was going to do now. No. Damn. Well, I'm not going to fucking say any more things then. It is what it is. Fuck it. Hopefully I finish the recap. I'm on whatever the fuck I just said I was on. It just threw me for a loop. Great. Big Show is going to get married in the next week, guys. So his brain really isn't all there. He's fucking about to do some shit that I ain't ever going to fucking do, guys. So he going to drop a link in the chat, guys, for this week's UFC Fight Night with him, Billy Briz, and MMA Locker Room, guys. So do us a favor, do yourself a favor, and go see if you can find a bet or two while you're on a drive or just bored at home. Quick little recap again, guys, if you're late. Glasnow over 7.5, Darvish over 5.5, and the alt parlay of Castillo 7+, Rodriguez 5+ at a -113. Yeah, we're going to keep it rolling, guys, as like I said, the second half has always been Sharpie's bitch. As you know, this show is sponsored by PrizePicks. If you haven't, go on over there and use that promo code PubSports. Get a match deposit up to $100 on your first deposit, minimum of $25. Until next time, I'm Sharpie's Bets. This show is produced by Big Show Picks and on Pub Sports Radio. Some say we be pubbing. I say pubbing we be.
Keep firing, assholes!